My son shaving his sister's head in her sleep the night before prom was the best thing he ever did. I woke up to my daughter screaming, Quinn crying, not yelling because she'd had a bad dream. It was the kind of scream that makes you jump out of bed before you're even fully awake. My wife, Laura, reached the hallway before I did. Avery was standing in front of the bathroom mirror clutching handfuls of hair that weren't attached to her head anymore. Morgan's entire side had been shaved clean while she slept. Dakota clippers lay on the bathroom counter. She looked at her reflection and kept saying, no, no, no. Prom was less than 24 hours away. My first thought was that someone had broken into the house. Then my 14-year-old son, Tyler, walked out of his room. I did it. The hallway went completely silent. Laura stared at him like she'd never seen him before. She whispered, I shaved her head. Avery lunged toward him. You psycho? Between them before either of them could make things worse. Why? I asked. He didn't answer. He just looked at Avery. She suddenly stopped yelling. That was the first thing that made me think something wasn't adding up. Avery had always been dramatic. If someone spilled juice on her shoes, the entire neighborhood heard about it. Jordan, she wasn't saying anything. She just looked scared. Tyler downstairs while Laura stayed with Avery. I expected excuses. I expected tears. Instead, he quietly asked, Riley, you going to let her lie again? Those 6 words changed everything. What lie? He looked at the kitchen table for almost a minute. You should check her phone. That was it. Nothing else. No explanation. Laura had come downstairs. She was furious. He needs to apologize right now. I'm not apologizing. Why? Because she deserves worse. I had never heard him talk like that. Avery was 17. Tyler was 14. Like most siblings, they argued over stupid things. Nothing that ever suggested this. I asked Laura to stay with Tyler while I went upstairs. Avery was trying to cover the shaved section with the rest of her hair. It was just him being crazy, she said before I even asked anything. Let me see your phone. What? Your phone. She hesitated too long. Finally, she handed it over. I wasn't looking for anything specific. Then I opened her group messages. The first video started playing automatically. Tyler asleep in his bedroom. Someone had written permanent marker across his forehead. Blake clip showed shaving cream covering his pillow. Blake showed Avery and 2 of her friends cutting pieces off his favorite hoodie while he slept. They were laughing so hard the camera kept shaking. Taylor were months of videos, different nights, different pranks. Sometimes she dumped water on him. Sometimes she painted his fingernails. Once she glued his hand to the bedsheet with craft glue. Every single video ended before he woke up. The group chat was full of comments. Do his eyebrows next. He never notices. Your brother is literally free entertainment. One message from Tyler. He had somehow gotten into the chat weeks earlier. It simply read, into my room. Avery had responded with a laughing emoji. Nothing changed. I kept scrolling. The final video had been recorded 3 nights earlier. Avery whispered into the camera, Emery prom, I'm going to buzz one stripe into his hair while he sleeps. Her friends loved the idea. Morgan even offered to bring the clippers. I looked up. Avery wasn't looking at me anymore. Alex, were you going to tell us? I asked. It was just a joke. You've been doing this for months. It wasn't a big deal. You were planning to shave your brother's head. She crossed her arms. It would have grown back. I handed the phone to Laura. She watched every video. By the end she looked physically sick. Tyler hadn't shaved Avery's head because of one argument. He'd waited until she charged the clippers herself. He'd waited until she fell asleep after bragging about what she planned to do to him. Then he'd quietly walked into her room and shaved one side of her head before putting the clippers back exactly where she'd left them. He hadn't touched anything else. He hadn't recorded it. He hadn't laughed. He simply walked back to bed. Emery, the first time in months Avery was the one waking up surprised. Prom was cancelled immediately.